most people hate fog, a lot of people hate snow, but us photographers, we love it. So I'm just literally doing a recce and I'm trying to choose a tree to take a photo of. And I keep getting drawn to this one here, but I'm not quite sure that I like it. I'm not sure, because it's got that ring of where people would sit around at a bench. I do believe it's called a bench in this day and age. If I shoot contre-jour, I don't speak French, that just means against the light. If I shoot that way, then you might get a lovely silhouette of all the tops of the winter trees, which might be cool. So I think I might do this one, because I think this is going to be quite a cool arty shot, because I've got the really nicely lit foreground as well. It's going to be a very grey scene, but I think it's going to be quite cool. And you know what? I'm going to do this tree, and I might even frame myself. I might even get myself to sit on that bench, but I'm not sure. But what I might do, I'm going to get the long lens out, because I mean, this is a bit of common sense, but as you can imagine, I'm going to stand this way because this is where the light is. As you can imagine, with the closer you get to a subject in the fog, the more vivid it becomes, and you know, you lose all the fog. So what I want to try and do, I might get the long lens and I might zoom right in and stand quite far away, so I don't lose any of the, you know, any of the magic. So my first composition that I've seen is this tree that's been sort of encased by a bench, a circular bench. And what I'm doing is I'm going for a vertical composition, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put myself in it just to show a little bit of scale and to try and add a little bit of mood. The great British countryside. It's like CSI Malvern. Oh, actually, this could be cool. We've got two lone figures in the distance. So I'm going to hit the shutter now. Hang on. I didn't see that come in. Right. Manuals. Oh, I think I'm on. Oh, I've got to change my 2-second timer. Go. Yeah, that looks cool. Sometimes you just got to accidentally take people's pictures when they don't notice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Looks really nice. Hi, morning. How you doing? I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's the fog is so different in different parts of the common, isn't it? Yeah. Well, they were nice. I was just talking to that couple then about how cold this fog is, and how different it is when you're in different parts, you know, of this common. So if you're up there towards where I've just been this morning, literally 500 yards up there, it feels about probably 3 or 4 degrees warmer. But here it feels so cold. Look at all the frost on the ground. This air, I think this is technically freezing fog. I don't think I really understood the meaning of freezing fog until today, but it really is very, 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 very cold. So I've just got that photo, and I actually really like that with that couple in it. And as I've got their story and they seem like nice guys, I think I'm going to use that for the vlog. So that's one shot down. More shot I want to do for my personal stash, for those of you that follow me will know that I like to do this, is my little selfie. So I'm going to go and stand in frame, and we'll see what we can get. But the first thing I need to do is do my 10-second timer. I'm going to ponder wondrously at this tree. And there we are, we're done. Simple as that. Does look a bit like I've never seen a tree before. I'm going to try one me sitting on the bench actually. So I'm going to try something slightly different. I don't really think, you know, many national newspapers might want that, but you never know. But let me just look back on that image. Oh, that looks kind of cool as well. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I think it's time to move on. And just as I've said that, there's a huge smattering, if that's even a word, spattering of light that's just hitting this area here, and I think it might look really cool. So let's do that next. It's not working, it's not popping, because what I have to do is really close up the aperture to f22, so I get a perfect ball, which is the sun right behind. Otherwise it just looks like one blurry sort of mess really of overexposure, which means you have to increase your shutter speed to, and I think it's 1,000th I've had to just shoot it at, and it's not worked for me really. I haven't picked up any of the foreground, so I think I'm going to abandon ship on that one. I don't really like the idea of it. So constantly looking around to see if I can see shapes or anything that's really pulling my eye, and the only thing that's really pulling me in is this row of trees here. And what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to stand farther back, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to open the aperture right up to 2.8 just to get some separation, and obviously that'll just suck in all the ambient light, which is great as well. Changing of the guard. So I've just put the 200 lens on, the 70 to 200 lens, and I just took an image, and I felt a little bit too close. And I knew that was the lens of choice that I wanted to use, so I thought it'd be better to go back and zoom in. As soon as I've done that, that's my view. I can't see it, or the camera can't see it, which is quite annoying. So what I'm doing is, again, I'm just having a little walk around, and I've just seen the edge of a tree, which I think is quite cool. So what I think I'm going to do, it sounds ridiculous, I've just seen the edge of a tree. What I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to pitch up here. I could, whoa. So what I want to do is I just want to clip the edge of that branch really. So I'm going to do that by getting the horizon, or what I can see is the horizon. I'm going to go even closer into this bush. I'm going to get the horizon on the bottom third, and I'm going to get the leaves and the cool area coming in on the right hand third, and on the left hand third might be able to make out a tree in the distance. The camera on the phone can pick it up, but this camera can't, which is frustrating. And I think that's because of the settings that I've told it to shoot at are too fast. But that nonetheless is still quite a cool little scene. But this is ever changing. This fog is, I don't know if it's out to get me, or it's presenting me with new compositions, or every time I take a breath, something else, I can see something else, or I can't see something I was looking at. So it really is a case of just find the light. As always with photography, find the light. And if you can do that, you'll be able to take a great shot. And at the moment, I can't find the light, but I'm sure I will. So I'm going to keep the faith. Okay, now I've just seen a scene that I really like. It's these three trees in a row, and there are light rays coming from the sun, which is obviously directly behind it. So what I'm doing, I quite like shooting trees and forest scenes at 2.8 because it gives you a nice little separation. So that's exactly what I've done. Now to get myself a decent exposure, I've had to shoot at 1/4000th of a second, which is very fast. But if you need a fast speed to get them rays. But with the silhouettes of the buildings behind, I think that actually looks really nice. That looks quite cool. But the fog is really dissipating quite quickly, so you've got to move so quickly, which is the awkward thing really. But I've chosen to shoot at 70mm, and I've got all the sun's moved around, so I'm just going to block that off by moving my composition around the corner. And I'm just going to do another shot. But because of all the lines, I think that's quite a cool shot, and I'll obviously be able to bring that out in the edit as well. So that's another shot in the bag. So watch what happens when you walk into a big open space. As you can see, really good visibility right now. But I'm just gonna walk up and over this little brow of this hill, because I really want to try and bag that big tree down there. Well, I can see a little bit more of it now, so I think I'm going to get a bit closer to it. But look what happens to it when there's fog. Fog loves open space. I don't know why, not a scientist. So you can remember that. Andrew Maguire, 2017, fog loves open space. Now the fog is actually starting to clear now, so I really better make a move. Strike while the iron's hot. Strike while the fog is hot. I don't think that's a saying. No, it's definitely not. But my shot that I really wanted has become available. So what I've decided to do, I've actually done a bracketed exposure. So I've done a 3-stop either side, and I think that's going to look cool. Problem is, I don't think there's enough fog now, because it's really cleared. It's crazy how quick this fog moves. Really crazy. But it's a really good exercise for a photographer, because you can't take for granted that the fog will stick around. You know, 9 times out of 10 it won't, and it'll do what it wants to do. Quite pleased with the way things have turned out. I think that shot of that couple walking past, it wasn't perfect because it wasn't framed up correctly. They kind of entered the scene on the outside, and I didn't have time to reframe it, but I think it looks quite nice. It's got quite a natural feel to it. And also that shot that I've just taken just now, that 3-stop HDR, well, it won't be HDR. So what's the difference between HDR and a bracketed exposure? Well, for me it's in the processing really, because you can take a 3-stop bracketed image, and then you can edit it to look sensible. Personally, I'm not a HDR fan. I'm not a HDR fan when it looks like every single colour has just been saturated just for the sake of it, because that's not real, is it? You can't see those every single colour because the camera is nowhere near as good as the naked eye. It's almost a safety net, so if there's anything that you under or slightly overexposed, you know, you don't have to include that shot, or if you do, you can obviously just tweak those exposures. So I'm all done now, and you know, that was just a little walk around the common. My radius was about 500 yards, so I didn't even walk that far. So for now, I'm done. Thanks for watching as always. Subscribe if you haven't done already. Thank you for those of you who are returning, and to those of you who are newbies, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So thanks a lot guys. I'm going to try not to get killed. I'll see you all soon. Cheers.